Hey there, I'm Tyler Lunsford, and you're watching a review of Jason Yu and SansMinds Open Switch. What is up, you people? My name is Tyler Lunsford, and welcome back to another magic trick review here on the channel. If you're new here, then definitely consider subscribing and take a look on the channel my past reviews. But hey, if you are new here, welcome, and if you're here on the day that I uploaded this, then happy Thanksgiving. If you celebrate it, if you don't, then happy whatever day you're watching this on. But yes, so thank you so much for just clicking on this video, and I hope you leave this review feeling more informed about Open Switch. But let's go ahead and get into the video right now. One quick thing before I do get into the review part of this video, I do want to say that Mystique Factory has a really big sale going on right now for Black Friday. You can save anywhere from 10% to 50% on hundreds of magic tricks. So definitely go check out Mystique Factory's website, search for some magic tricks, you can save some money, and yeah, definitely just go check it out. And if you aren't watching this during the Black Friday sale and all that stuff, then use code Tyler10 at checkout to save 10% off your entire first order with Mystique Factory. But once again, that code does not work during the sale, but after the sale's over, if you still want to get 10% off, then just use that code and you can save some money still. But yeah, go check out the prices. The link will be down below in the description. But let's go ahead and get into a review of Open Switch right now. First off, let's start out by talking about what actually is Open Switch. So this is a really neat idea for switching a coin out of someone's hand. It's a switching concept. Now, what this is you can either do this visually or invisibly. Now, if you're going to do it invisibly, then you can have someone hold a coin, you tap it, and then they close their hand. They don't know it, but you've actually switched the coin out with the tapping of the coin. But you can also do it visually, and as soon as you tap the coin, let's say the coin says like the 3 of diamonds. As soon as you tap the coin, it changes to say the 8 of clubs, which is a really neat visual, and it does look good if you can get it down, but it does have some limitations, and I'll talk about those in this review. Now let's talk about what you're going to be receiving if you decide to purchase Open Switch. Well, you'll be receiving this DVD case right here, and inside of it is an actual DVD that runs about 35 minutes long. You're going to learn 2 different variations on how to actually, like, not methods really, but you're going to learn 2 different types of routines you can do with the Open Switch concept. You're also going to learn how to do the Open Switch move, and you also receive like 100 gimmicks that you can use for this effect, because after you use them like once or twice, they're gonna kind of not be able to be used again, at least if you want it to look really good and clean. So that's why they include like 100 gimmicks you can do this with. So I did appreciate the amount that they supplied you, but yes, so that is pretty much what you're gonna be receiving. And let's go ahead and talk about actually like difficulty wise, how difficult is it? When it comes to difficulty, this is not terribly hard, but it's also not really easy. Like, this is something that I would say is intermediate. You need to spend probably a couple hours of practice on, because if you want it to look good and visual, you do need to practice this, and you make sure that you have the move down before you go out and perform it. But if you can get it down with some practice and make it look really visual, then I think that it's gonna look really good. How are the angles for Open Switch? The angles are actually really good. You can pretty much perform this surrounded, so this is pretty much angle proof. Is there any DIY, do-it-yourself, arts and craft project work involved with this? Kind of. There's something that you have to do per performance, so I'll talk about some setup and reset real quick. But per performance, you're going to have to prepare your gimmick for each one. Now, like I said earlier, you're going to be running through these gimmicks if you're performing this fairly often, because you will mess them up eventually. Like, they're just not something that's going to last you years. That's why they include so many for you. But you do have to create that for, and it's not like DIY, it's not like arts and crafts or glue or anything. Like, you just really need like one other thing, and you need a coin, and you should be able to do this in, I'd say, like maybe 30 seconds, 60 seconds. So that's how long it's going to take you to make one gimmick with the supplies that they supply you. But as far as reset goes, I'd say like 30 seconds. Either replace the gimmick or just make sure the one that you just used is still workable. So I can't really tell you too terribly much without disclosing the method, but I hope that that gives you enough so you know kind of like if you want to buy this from that aspect. Are there any negatives to performing Open Switch? Now, the fact that the gimmicks are kind of like, not breakable, but like you can't really use them but more than like 1 or 2 times without them getting messed up. It's just like, you might have to buy refills for this if you're gonna be performing this tons of times. Like, if you perform this like 200 times, you're probably gonna need refills. Like, it's just something that if you're gonna perform this a lot, then you're gonna need to like pick out some more material. You can make them yourself, so once you know how this is done, you can probably make them yourself. But if you don't wanna make them yourself, then you do need to buy another copy of this. Another negative is that if you live in the United States, now I perform with US quarters, and this looks pretty shiny like under studio lighting. But in real life, this quarter is not gonna look that shiny. Like, this is honestly not that shiny of a quarter, but like under these lights it makes it look shiny. So if you're performing in good lighting where your coins look shiny, then you'll get away with it. But if you're performing in an area with these US quarters and they don't look that like shiny, your spectators might think something's up when you pull out a really shiny quarter. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't want to like go too much into the method, but I mean, if you're using like Canadian coins, like I know they're pretty shiny, so if you're using like that, then you should be fine. You should get away with it. But if you're in the US and you're using these like US quarters, make sure you have a shiny one to do this with, because if you don't, it might look a little weird. With that said, I would let my spectators look at this gimmick. I just wouldn't let them stare at it for too long. So like when you pull it out and you're doing like the setup for it, like in performance, just make sure they're not staring at the gimmick for too long, and make sure you go ahead and switch it pretty quickly so they don't get like any ideas. Another negative is that they only come in silver, so the gimmicks are all silver. You can only use it with silver coins, and they're sized for like US quarters. So that's just like, it might be a negative for you because maybe you live in an area and you don't have shiny silver coins, but I'm just gonna throw that out there. Are there positives to performing open switch? Yes, it's a very visual effect that I think is gonna look really cool if you're performing in the right conditions and you get this down with enough practice. But it's also like, it is a worker, like it's angle proof, which is a positive in my book. And also there's just different things you can do with this. You can switch it out like visually and make it like a change, or you can make it like an invisible switch. So there are like many different things you can do with this concept, and I think that those are positives. You'll also be receiving a small carrying case for the gimmicks that you receive. So if you want to go and make some gimmicks up, put them in the little case and then carry it in your pocket so they don't get like messed up, then you can perform this, and it is a worker because you have a place to store them. What's this retail as? Well, this currently retails as $30 US, and honestly I think that's a fair price because you are getting so many gimmicks that you can use to perform this. Like I said, you get like 100, so you do have plenty to use until you like use them all up because you're performing this pretty regularly. But if you're performing this regularly, then that probably means you like it, and if you go through 100 gimmicks, you'll probably want to buy another one. So it should retail as $30. Anything higher than this, I would shoot down. $30 is a good price though, I would say. What would I give this out of 10? I would give this a high 7.7 out of 10. The reason I'm docking it the points is because it looks good, but you just got to be in the right conditions. And the fact that you can only use these gimmicks a certain amount of times before like they don't really look good anymore is just like something I docked at a point for. But I mean, your angles are good and everything else is fine. You just got to make sure you practice it, get it down, and just make sure you're in the right conditions, because if you're performing with US coins and they're not shiny but then your gimmick's shiny, it's gonna look weird. So that's why I'm giving it a 7.7, but it's definitely a solid 7.7, and I think if you're performing in the right conditions, you could totally make it work for you and it'd be like a 9 out of 10. Should you pick this up? If you live in an area where you can perform with shiny coins, or you have like shiny US coins you can use, like US quarters, then definitely like you'll probably like this if you can perform in the right conditions. But if you don't have access to shiny coins, shiny silver coins that is, you are probably not going to use this and it won't be of any use to you. So that's why I'm going to say that you should pick it up if you can use it, but if you can, then don't pick it up. Don't waste your money. That about does it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I was able to help you make a more informed decision about whether or not you want to purchase Open Switch. If you would like, the link will be down below in the description. And hey, also in the description is a link to my Instagram page. There you can follow me on Instagram at TaraLenswardMagic. And remember, if I get to 1,000 subscribers before the end of 2019 on YouTube and 300 followers on Instagram by the end of 2019, I will be doing a giveaway. So definitely subscribe and follow me on Instagram. I like to thank Mystique Factory for sending me this product so I can do the review for you beautiful people. Remember to go to MystiqueFactory.com, search around, find some magic. They're having a really big Black Friday sale, and hopefully you find something good that you've been wanting to get. But I would like to thank you so much for watching this video, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. See ya.